You're about to see a real case study of a nurse who wants to retire early. Now, if you're not a nurse, but you also want to retire early, the same principles apply. I'm just using their situation as a case study. Your salary may be very similar. You may have saved a similar amount, so hopefully this still resonates with you. Now we're going to hop right in. So I'm going to make myself smaller here. You're going to see me down here in the lower corner. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is a nurse did a great job taking care of my dad. I believe nurses and teachers are the people that are the least appreciated and are not paid as well as they should. And so I recently collaborated with Elaine Mala, who's incredible and has a whole lot more education for nurses who specifically want to invest and retire early. I recently came on a show with her to educate her audience who want to retire early as nurses. So this is a real case study. I'm about to hop in. This is someone that today you can see they are 44 and 38 years old. I'm just changing their name for security reasons. And they have one child who's 7 years old. So their net worth is about $1 million. They have $480,000 of saved investments, liquid assets. They have a home worth $950,000 with a mortgage of $413,000. Now, this is what I love getting to do. I love making videos on tax strategy, estate planning, withdrawal, where do we pull income from? But the reason I get to do all of this is because of my amazing team here at Root. So here's an important disclosure. Now, this is not my traditional video where it's beautifully edited, where I'm pointing and my amazing editor is going to pull up a beautiful shot of cauliflower or some other silly analogy I talk about. This is a raw, unedited video. It's going all the way through. So that is why I'm pulling up all these disclosures, and this is important. So please read this disclosure. Make sure the most important thing here, I'm not providing any one-on-one advice. Any comments left on the video reflect the views and opinions of the individual commenters and don't represent the views of Root Financial. So please make sure to check out this disclosure. The most important thing is don't go take action if I say, hey, yes, you should go retire early. Take this information as, well, that might very well apply to my situation. I'm now going to work with a professional, or I'm going to do my own due diligence before I actually execute anything. This is important because I love making these videos, and this important disclosure, I know I just said important like 50 times, allows me to keep doing this. So thank you guys. Now, we're going to hop right in. I'm going to make myself smaller here. Everything that I'm going to show you today, this is the software I use for my clients. It is powerful. I'm going to show you some really cool stuff on retirement, on taxes, on estate planning, on investing. Know that everything I'm about to show you is available in the Early Retirement Academy. There's going to be a link below, but if you want to go run your own scenarios or do anything that I'm talking about today, you can go ahead and do that. The reason I offer that is because a lot of you, and this might sound odd, don't necessarily need a financial advisor in many cases. Some of you are like, hey, I just want to know, am I on track? Am I loosely on track? I'm going to keep saving and investing to my 401k and my Roth IRA. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't need you to unnecessarily go pay someone tens of thousands of dollars a year if they can't add value, if it doesn't make sense yet. Now, this is important because I'm going to share more about when it does and when it does not make sense to hire an advisor at the end of the video. For now, here's where you can compare against your own numbers. So once again, you can go input your own stuff in here. This couple, I need you to pretend that we just had a long conversation about how long they want to work and how much they want to spend. I'm going to have to skip past that part and just go straight to the figures. But this is what I want you to do. If you are currently building your own plan and you want to retire early one day, if you're like, hey, I'm nowhere near this number. I don't have 480,000, or hey, I have way more than this. Why are they even thinking about retiring early? It's not right or wrong. This is just their situation. Okay. So once again, 44, 38 years old. They are both nurses with a 7-year-old child. So they told me that they wanted to retire in their early 60s. So we're putting 60 as the base case for their plan. Now, they are willing to work longer if that means they can spend what they'd really love to spend. Because I have a pet peeve, and some of you know my pet peeve, but it's when people say the following. You know, I can retire. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to retire. I could probably live off $3,000 a month. Like I could go back to college days, and I could even downsize to a smaller home. And some of you truly don't need to spend that much to be fulfilled. But most of you, you want to spend anywhere in the range of $6,000 to $10,000 a month so you can really enjoy your retirement. So don't make the mistake of retiring too early just because you really want to be done working. And so sometimes I'm the mean guy that says, I recommend you work a few more years so you can really spend what you want to before you actually retire and go, hey, it turns out I want to travel more than I thought. So don't make that mistake. Obviously, don't work too long, but this is the balance, and this is what you're going to hopefully gain insight from today. So this couple wants to spend $7,000 a month. Now, that's $84,000 a year. I'm a certified financial planner, a CFP, so you guys just saw that in real action. In all reality, though, I'm a CFP, certified financial planner, and I'll tell with people, how many doctors would you never let touch your body? And most people go, yeah, good amount. Same thing in my field. Just because someone's a CFP, don't work with them. Just because I'm a CFP, don't listen to me. Make sure that it makes sense. So I only do early retirement planning. That is what I love to do. So what I'm going to show you is they put $7,000 a month, but in my opinion, they didn't go deep enough. They didn't go and factor in long-term care. I want us to at least have templates. It doesn't need to be perfect. Too many people try to make their plan perfect, and then all of a sudden they get analysis paralysis and they give up. So whether it's the last 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, put something in here. Last 3 years of your plan. Ask yourself, do you want to be in a nursing home? Okay, that's way more expensive. Do you want assisted living? Okay, that's way less expensive. Do you want in-home care? Find and just start with something. So I'm just putting some basic figures in here and I'm clicking save. You guys can do the same thing. I would like you to go in there and be more accurate, more intentional. For example, and I'm not going to do everyone here, but vacations. They're going to spend, let's say, $20,000 a year on some vacations, but not forever. Let's assume they retire at 60 and they're going to want to do that every single year, probably for the first 10 years. That's when they have their health and energy and they want to do heavy travel. So don't make the mistake of just saying, I'm going to spend $7,000 a month for life. That's unrealistic. You're going to spend more when you have your energy and your health. So go in here. If you are going to buy new cars every 10 years and weddings, and you might want to, relocate or downsize, this is a beautiful tool for that. Now, in terms of income, Jane is temporarily on pause. She is a nurse, but she's not working. So John is bringing in $200,000 a year. He also has a side hustle, but he did not separate that. He put all $200,000 in here. So what I'd prefer he does is go $114,000. I just know it because I spoke to them recently. $114,000 is their salary. Then we're going to add other income here. This is side hustle, and it brings in anywhere in the range of $80,000. It could be $40,000 a year, but right now it's bringing in $80,000 a year. And we're going to assume that's from now until he retires. The reality is it might go longer. Maybe he wants to do this side hustle in retirement. Maybe it turns out that it doesn't do well in a single year. He should be able to maneuver this. So the reason I'm showing you guys this is I'm now going to show you right now, and this is the most powerful thing I could ever show you, is what are you on track for? So check this out here. Ignore these numbers for now. Here's what I want to show you. So I'm going to reset this because I was playing around with their plan in a big way earlier because I wanted to plan this for you guys. So I'm going to reset this. I'm going to move some of these things off just for a second. You guys are going to see why I added in weddings and new cars, a home remodel, part-time income, inheritance, savings, 401k, a lot of different things, okay? So I'm going to touch on this in just a second. But if this couple that we're talking about right now wanted to retire at 60 years old and spend $7,000 a month or $84,000 a year, you can see right now, they're 40s, they're on track, their money's going to keep growing. They might have 1.3 million by age 60. And their money would last till about 83, and they would run out of money. And so the first thing we could easily do is go, why don't they work till 65 and see what it does to the plan? Well, this is in their control. That makes a big difference. Working 5 more years, you can see it really helps. There's $500,000 left over. What if they say, we're only going to spend $5,000 a month? Well, it's going to make the plan look even better. Now, I don't want you to make the mistake of just trying to pass away with as much money as possible, but I want you to be realistic here. So the reason I'm doing this is I'm going to turn on a few more things: long-term care, vacations, how long they're going to live, the side hustle, all of this available to you if you want to build your own plan. You can see I'm only starting with what's in their control. I haven't even gotten to what about good tax strategy? What about planning for their kids' education? What about where they pull income from? But I'm assuming in this software projection that you're seeing right now on your screen that they have long-term care, that they're taking 20,000 a year of vacations. I did not plan for a wedding. What if there's a $20,000 wedding? What if they want new cars every 10 years for 40,000 bucks? What if they want to do a home remodel of 50K? How does that change the plan? Well, I can refresh it and I can see in real time the impact that that would have. This is why I love using this as a tool, because what you just saw is they just were able to help their kid with a wedding. Maybe that's not enough, but new cars, home remodel, vacations. Look, for a lot of you, you go 5,000 a month. I would love, if I had 5,000 a month, that'd be great. Others, if you go, that's not enough. But this is someone who's on track to pass away with about $1 million at age 96. So you might go, wow, that's kind of close to me. What if they go, no, we want to be done at 60. At 60, that's when we want to be done. Okay, well, is that possible? You can see here, it's certainly an option, but they run out of money at about age 90. Now, what if some other things occur? What if they go, you know what, right when we retire, we're going to do nursing, just not to the same degree. We might bring in $45,000 a year. Maybe we do that for a few years. What impact does that have? Well, you can see it gives them a few more years. It certainly is getting them to 96, but now there's nothing behind. What if there's inheritance? $300,000, just as an example, is coming in. How does that impact the plan? So I want you to see, wow, that makes a big difference. Go in and make your own projections, build your own plan and see what you're on track for. That's the overall message here. Now, some big things that I want you to be aware of. This is the biggest one, this asset allocation. This is basically determining what's the level of growth that you want to project in your plan. So for some of you, you're like, I'm super conservative. I don't know about investing. I want to be super, super safe. And there will be less ups and downs, but your money will grow way slower. You can see in this case, they'd run out at 88. If they said, hey, we want to be the most aggressive possible, obviously it's going to look better, but it comes with more ups and downs along the way. So we have to ask ourselves, what experience do we want as investors? So this is a really, really helpful tool. It allows you to actually optimize further. What if you collected Social Security at full retirement age? Here's how much more you'd have. What about age 70? It allows you to get really, really clear. Now, another important disclosure here. I want to be really clear. The examples I'm showing, these are using a Monte Carlo simulation. All these rates of returns, everything I'm showing, it does not guarantee future returns, and it may not apply to your situation, nor representative of the experience of many of our clients who are retiring early. So the reason I want to show you this is because this is where I want you to start. I want you to actually take action. You can see this is really easy. I didn't overwhelm you with what stock do I choose and which investment and mutual funds and ETFs and that fancy thing my uncle was telling me to do with real estate. No. What's in your control? What's in your control? How long you work and how much you want to spend. That's really in your control. What's out of your control, how well does the market do? Well, it might do well, but if you get unlucky because markets go through a rough patch, that's out of your control. You can choose your investments, but you can't choose exactly how they'll actually react. So I want you to understand and I want you to stress test your plan. Okay, so what I mean by that is I'm going to ask you to look at my screen one more time here. Now, I know a lot of you are like, I've seen the stress testing. This is like the coolest thing ever. I really think it is. And so what this is this allows you to make sure you don't get unlucky. Because what if you retire and markets drop and you just get unlucky? Markets get down 30%. What if you retire so early, Social Security gets reduced, which could happen? What if your returns don't do what you think? It's 2% lower. You were thinking 10%, but now it's only 8%. What if you're super healthy and you live 5 years longer than you expect? What if healthcare costs go up? It's allowing you to maneuver these actual scenarios and go, okay, so I still see I'd be on track, even if I'm really unlucky. Or you know what? Maybe I shouldn't retire this year because I want to make sure I have enough for my kids' college. It's allowing you to start to build your own plan. So that's the value of this. Now, the thing that I love most about this is in the tax tab, this is where you can get really, really creative. And this is why a lot of people love using this software, is because you can build out returns for years that don't exist yet. So I could go see, okay, in 2035, what would my income be? $260,000. What about in 2060? Well, I'm no longer working, but I'm still going to have income coming because I'm going to have to sell something so I can live off of my income. So it's allowing you to go build and play around with these different tax strategies and projections and conversions. And I'm not going to get too complicated in here, but all of this is at your disposal. And I teach you how to do it inside of the Academy, where there's literally so many different videos when it comes to Roth conversions or harvesting or shifting your mindset or charitable giving or whatever that may be. The last thing I want to talk about, at least today, there's a lot of things. This is in your control, is how you invest. So here's someone that got really lucky. Now I'm happy that they got lucky, but their traditional 401k is all in Apple stock. Now actually it's a 403b, but it acts the exact same way, okay? So Apple stock did really well. They have 425,000 of Apple stock. But if Apple stock doesn't do well or doesn't do well moving forward, their early retirement will be in jeopardy, which is why we don't want to just have generally one stock. You want to have many different stocks, so if one doesn't do well, the others pick up the slack. You can see their joint account. This is a smaller account. It has only NVIDIA, and you can see it's worth about $11,000, once again, just one company. Now their Roth IRA is in a model portfolio. You can see here it says 60, 40%. So 60% equities, 40% fixed income. Not ideal generally for a Roth IRA. Normally, this is the account you want growing like crazy, as much as possible. It's your best account for long-term growth, tax-free. So what you can do is you can go into the investment tab and you can actually start to play around with, okay, where is my risk level? Which sectors do I want to be in? Am I concentrated too much in one single company? You can see this person is 12% diversified. 88% is in Apple stock. Maybe not ideal. Now, it doesn't mean we go sell, but what we want to do is maybe what if we wanted to have a threshold, never more than 10% of one company? Okay, what would that look like? And how much should that, where should we come from to adjust that? All of those things, this really makes it nice and easy so you can see what's my overall allocation. You can see the Roth IRA is 60-40. You can see the joint account, 100% equities because it's all NVIDIA. You can see the percentages. It makes it really nice and easy to manage your own finances. So the final feature here that I love, that I want to highlight, is the Vault feature. This is where you can put any important documents. So if, for example, you were to pass away, your spouse knows where to go to log in to find anything. It's just going to reduce hassle. Now, I will talk about when it makes sense to hire an advisor and when it does not. And I'll tell you why I even created this. So I had someone that reached out and said, Ari, I don't have $2 million, which is the current minimum to work with our firm, Root Financial, but I would like help. What do I do? And I said, here you go. And I referred them to another advisor. And they got really mad at me. And it was a good lesson because they said, you referred me, and I know you thought you're doing the right thing. And they told me what a Roth IRA is. I know what a Roth IRA is. I need specific investments, and I need to know exactly the timing of when I should implement it, and they didn't tell me that. I said, okay. So what I did is I put together this course with this software available to you so you can go run your own projections, and I asked them, hey, was this what you were looking for? And they said, yes, that's what I needed. I said, okay, well, what if for the fraction of the price, you could go build your own plan, really be your own advisor, educate yourself? And they said it worked really well. So the reason I offer this and why it's a few $100 is it's not one-on-one guidance. You're not going to get me talking to you. You do get me as your instructor with hundreds of, actually not hundreds, but there's like 50 videos. So I wasn't 100. I was making it sound better than it is. 50 videos. Not that most people don't watch all of them anyways, but you get my point here. There's a lot of videos showing you what to do. It's great if you want to be your own advisor, your own educator. Some of you are busy and you're like, I don't have time for that. Okay, well, if you fill out the link in the description below, you will see options. You'll see options to work with our team. You'll see options to work with what's called a project-based planner, where you can pay someone a fee and they'll just simply say, hey, make these changes, go do that. You're paying a professional. I don't believe everyone needs an advisor until they're generally in a position where it's, hey, there's a level of complication here that I don't want to mess up. I have a significant amount of assets. I don't want to move one thing in the wrong way, and now I can't retire early. So in the same way, I'm never going to execute my own surgery. I do want to understand why I'm having the surgery done to myself, and I'm a big advocate of educating yourself. So that's what my channel is designed for. I'm never going to make best new credit card or travel hacking. That's just not my thing. My thing is, how can you retire early? How can you optimize healthcare, tax strategy, where you're going to pull income from, where you should be investing, what are the right types of accounts. So I hope that this was a helpful video. If so, please like this video and share it with someone you want to retire early with. And then if there's any video I could ask you to watch, it would probably be this one. So superhero account, if you just look it up on Google, this account here, how to invest in your brokerage, your superhero account. This account is the best account that will help you retire early because there's no restrictions when it comes to Roth IRAs or 401ks. What if you want to retire at 50? Well, those accounts really aren't too helpful. You want a superhero, which is what I call a brokerage account. So check out that episode if that's of interest. Hopefully you guys liked more of this raw, unedited style. I appreciate your feedback, and that's it. Thanks, guys. Love you, nurses. Love you, teachers. Thank you guys for everything you do.